Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty cool news going on when it comes to the fact that Sony actually might now be making even more brand new PlayStation peripherals and brand new PlayStation hardware to now go and kind of expand out their horizons and kind of divvy out some cooler new stuff. And this actually kind of goes and stems up to a video we made earlier on this week where we're seeing even more news, a little bit more leaks, a little bit more information in regards to the brand new PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Portable 2, not Plus, that you actually might be able to go utilize PlayStation Plus on. Now that's a very, very small, that's basically like someone who's planted the seed and it's not even been watered yet. It's like you could still literally see the hole it was dug into, so don't get too excited for that one. But we actually have some kind of cool stuff over here and new patents and new technology coming out over now, which does make things seem a little bit more nifty, a little bit more cooler. So a lot of stuff to go talk about, so let's go talk about it. As well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway on the channel itself. We also do have the Amazon sign-up links down below for the PS5, Horizon, PS5, Xbox, Twitter, and Twitch stream. I'd love to have you guys go and follow. Got the Weeble, got the Coinbase, and everything else. And leave a like and your thoughts, and let's dive into the video. So we actually have an article over here in regards from Game Rant, which goes and dives into the Sony maybe working to make old peripherals compatible now with modern PlayStation consoles. So this is actually kind of pretty cool, but we're going to kind of give more potential of what this might be in the future too as well, and also the fact that this actually might go make the huge ecosystem even better. Now think, say, for PlayStation VR 2, if they run to a PSP 2, and all that type of stuff as well. So it's kind of like a double whammy. So basically, a new patent right now filed by Sony indicates that emulation of legacy PlayStation peripherals like the iTor and PS Move actually may be in the works. So, in the wake of Nintendo's announcement plan to shutter the 3DS and Wii U eShops in 2023, which if you guys not have heard, basically they're pretty much going dunzo, which is kind of sad because literally that is only the prior generation, like the Wii U. Granted, the Switch has been out for 5 years, but it is still kind of weird because there was still an okay amount of folks that were using the Wii U. Same with the 3DS. I actually think the 3DS is probably more active than even the Wii U was, because there's just so many sales. So more attention is being paid to video game preservation, and rightfully so. I am someone who really kind of thinks, in my mind, that you should be able to go play your old school games, if you buy them, if you play them, if you get them, at any point. And that's why I actually always do say I respect a lot on Xbox. If you cannot go and play your PS1 game, PS2 game you pay money on, what's kind of the point? And while some gamers are just content to embrace their current culture of remasters and remakes on modern hardware, some see a distinct need to resurrect retro software and hardware. On that note, Sony seems to be taking steps to ensure that legacy PlayStation content still has a place in the gaming space, and a new patent suggests that outdated PlayStation peripherals could be made compatible with modern hardware in the near future. So this may not be the best, kind of craziest things when it comes to everyone on the planet, because some people may not utilize prior content or whatever, but the one big thing I really want to make a push on, I think you guys would agree, this is huge for the future. So think about this, and this is kind of, like I said, a big staple that Xbox has. You could play like an Xbox 360 game on an Xbox Series X and S. Can you do that with a lot of PlayStation 3 games? No, the architecture was completely different and distraught. But now, if we're actually trying to work through this actually might be a huge step for Sony and PlayStation to making sure any game you buy on your PlayStation 5 now, digital disc, PlayStation VR 2, whatever it may be, will be able to be working 10, 15, 20 years down the road. Now, are they going to commit that long? Maybe sometimes technology gets outdated, and maybe at some point you only have 100 people using it throughout an entire month or something like that, which is not really worth money to keep it up there, but this is cool. I actually really enjoy the idea that PlayStation itself is making these special patents and working on the stuff for the longevity of stuff. And as well, that's why I kind of want to bring up more of the attention on the future hardware. So think PlayStation VR 2, PSP 2, or whatever it may be. I think this is huge, and also say the PS6, PS7, because if they are trying their best to maintain the idea of basically just able to go play old school games and game preservation, that will mean that they will be changing a lot of features in the future for other various games. Because as of right this second, a lot of these game things, as we mentioned, you just can't utilize, you can't play, and people complain about that a lot for the PS3. It's just not a good experience, not a good vibe going on. So, we have a patent file that was actually on June 30th, 2022, by Sony Interactive Entertainment, titled Systems and Methods for Converting a Legacy Code into an Updated Code. It outlines a video game emulation process that Sony may potentially employ in the near future. Full of technological jargon, it's not easily deciphered. I probably maybe try, but it's probably not going to be good by those not in the know. Though one interesting addition comes in the form of a diagram that apparently outlines methods to emulate software that made use of the old PlayStation peripherals like the iToy, the PS Mouse, PSP Go, and something labeled a legacy card reader, which also actually might be a big thing too. This is just my guess, I could be completely wrong. If you have something like a legacy card reader, what if that also goes and ties into the PlayStation 5 being able to utilize PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3 games through the disc? Now, is that going to happen? That might be a big stretch, but that would be a really cool additional thing if they could somehow come up with the technology, aka just basically go and somehow code up a reader from old PS2, PS3, which as of right now, those are the harder games to find details on, and then as they do that, then they get to go and get easy plays. Like, they don't have to emulate, they don't have to worry about it, they don't have to worry about PS Plus. If they own the game, they can just play it. Now, that's just my expectations, but so I don't know exactly what Sony might have in mind. Agreed. But this does seem to indicate that official emulation of legacy PlayStation content will one day be so thorough as to include physical memory card support. That sounds so meticulous as to be almost unnecessary, and coming from a company that apparently opted to forgoes PS3 emulation on PS5, which is, like I said, kind of been a big issue on all of this, it doesn't seem like a priority. But still, memory cards were an important part of the 5th and 6th console generations, and aggravating as they were, some gamers might argue that there's value in returning to those old school traditions. Now, I personally still like having my memory inside my console, makes everything super easier, super more efficient, love it. The bigger issue, though, is I can maybe see it for emulation, and trying to somewhat mimic the old school style emulation side might be harder for that. So looking through the patent, as you guys can see over here, there's pretty much nothing like right where my webcam is at. Over there, as you guys can see, they have all this stuff. You guys can see legacy card readers, so like I said, maybe old school memory sticks, might be able to go use it. Things like the PSP, old school cameras, mouses, you have the controllers themselves and everything. So this is actually, I think, a huge change up, because this could lead into people able to maybe utilize, like I said, in the future, PSVR 2 stuff. Maybe they'll be able to utilize PS Plus stuff. Maybe having a chance to go have your games maybe be digitally read. Having your old school PS1, 2, or 3 games as well also being digitally kind of focused on. There's a lot of good potential both, like I said, for the future. Because, like, once again, do you want to be the guy who has a PS7, 10 years down the road, and you can't play on your PS5 games? Maybe you guys really liked Ghost of Tsushima. Maybe you're like God of War, whatever it may be. And people replay through games all the time, especially after all that time. So that's, I think, a huge update. Like, this actually would be a huge patent that would be kind of a big game changer. And as well also for all the past stuff too, because as we mentioned throughout this article, a lot of the stuff on the PS2, PS3, mainly PS3, have had a lot of prior issues in emulation. Prior issues on downloads, prior issues on stability, and then as well, you also do have a lot of folks who still have these old school game discs from the PlayStation 3. So with all this put together, it kind of goes to show, like, hey, at the end of the day, don't you want to be able to go utilize your PS3? Hey, at the end of the day, you spent $200 when it first came out on your PlayStation VR 1, or like all these motion controlled systems or webcams or whatever, you probably want to be able to utilize it, right? So I still think this is an awesome update. So as you guys can kind of go and see with this. So basically with this one, they did apparently opt to forego the PS3 emulation, which has always been sad. But also the same thing with 2 of the memory cards as well. So the same diagram also includes what appears to be a PlayStation Move controller, which has a few interesting implications. This was initially released like over 10 years ago in 2010. PlayStation Move was initially intended to be as a competitor for the Microsoft Kinect, though the controllers were shipped alongside Sony's PSVR headset when they debuted in 2016. Sony recently reaffirmed its commitment to PSVR and virtual reality gaming, so though the headset is not represented in the diagram, this could also indicate a precedent for some kind of future integration. So basically for this, it just kind of seems like they're going through the checklist. They got a lot of different stuff. They got like 10 different items, they got 10 different prior objects, and I really do think this is going to be a huge change. Once again, the PS3 era has always been rough. There's been a lot of issues. A lot of people have been rough on it. So people who are excited for the PS3 era can maybe go utilize that in the PS5. People that are excited for the future, like I mentioned, for PS6, PS7, PS8, whatever it may be, and game preservation, that might be a huge thing too as well. Now, I'm not sure exactly what's going to turn into this because patents happen all the time, but a lot of the times they make a patent for a certain reason, and this does kind of seem like one of the bigger and cooler system updates that could be potentially coming in the very near future. So leave your comments and thoughts down below. Would love to go and hear it. And as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for all the signups. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below if you guys want to follow, and everything else too as well tied on it. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching.